this episode of Tales of Horror, I will be talking about extraterrestrial life, and which seems that we are truly not alone. But what are they? Are they demons? Are they angels? What do they want from us? Hello guys, this is your host Jesus Torres. I hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving. I am recording this 3 days after Thanksgiving. It's November 28th, 2021, 12:23 a.m. And yeah, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Let me know what y'all were thankful for this Thanksgiving in the comments. Email me. Email's in the description. On about on the channel. Follow, subscribe, like, dislike. I don't think YouTube has the dislike button anymore. But yeah. I was thankful for many things. Main one being family, my son, and yeah, gotta be thankful for those things, even the little things are what matter. On this episode, I'm kind of gonna be freestyling it, talking about extraterrestrial life, aliens, UFOs. I'll be telling my mother's story, my story. So yeah, that's what I'll be talking about tonight. I don't have any notes written. I'm just, again, pretty much freestyling this. If y'all have any of your own stories with alien encounters or UFOs, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. This is a judge-free podcast / channel. This is judge-free. I've heard a lot of stories on other podcasts, on other videos. I've seen a lot of hoaxes. I've seen so much, and again, this is judge-free. I've heard a lot of stories, and you know, I'm not a skeptic. I'm a believer, but I do like to come to the truth and the bottom of it. Like, not everything is paranormal. Some things have a really huge explanation, and others just really don't. But this is judge-free, so let me know your experiences, your stories, anything paranormal. So let's get to it. I'll start off with my mother's story. She was a little girl living in Mexico, in Monterrey, Mexico to be more exact. She lived really nearby the mountainous area. Big mountains in Monterrey. I don't know how familiar y'all are listening, but they're called Cerro de la Silla, or the Mountain of the Chair. It kind of looks like a throne or a chair, whatever however you want to look at it. But she lived really close to that area. She would always play around, go pick berries and other things there. There's a lot of wild animals, wildlife, and a lot of vegetation. So her and her friends, would always be over there getting stuff for their parents or whatnot. This particular day, my mother said it was pretty much dusk hours, and little kids, they don't think like, oh, it's scary, there's a ghost or an alien is gonna pop out of nowhere. But she remembers that she saw this really big light on the mountains and just hovering above, and her and a few of her friends, they were curious as to what it could be. So they got close. They walked towards the light. It was just hovering, a big light. They thought maybe it was a helicopter, something weird. Drones didn't exist back in those times. She was maybe 7 years old, 8. So they went and checked it out, and they saw two figures. Two weird grayish looking figures, she said. And that immediately when they saw them, they started walking towards them, not running from them. And that, well, the kids, my mother and her friends they're like, no, we're out. So they ran, and they saw the figures like levitate up into that spacecraft that was hovering with the light, and they were gone. And that when they left, that there was a fire. They left like a fire on a shrub, on a bush, whatever you want to call it. And that the fire just was lit for maybe like 5 seconds, and that it just disappeared. That was her experience. It's kind of vague, but that was hers. I had an experience of my own when I was around that age, also 8 years old, 7. I don't really remember. I don't remember where it was at. I just know it was outside. It was outside. I was maybe on the trampoline laying on my back, and then this light just hovered above me for a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds, 15. I didn't feel any wind. I didn't hear any noise. It was just a craft hovering above me, and for a few seconds, and it just left. Then I was startled and ran inside and told my parents about it, and they didn't know what to make out of it. But that was one encounter I had. Another encounter was I used to do deliveries late at night. Food delivery service to different businesses, stores. Here in Oklahoma. I was getting trained in a new route. It was me and a coworker. Very nice guy. Very smart, knowledgeable. We were out in the Stillwater area. We were out there in Stillwater. That was going to be my route. It was out Stillwater and Ponca City, close to the Kansas border, real close to Kansas. And so I was driving to get familiar with the route. It was the first night on the route. This was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. maybe. And I was driving, and it wasn't like in a secluded area. It wasn't like in a forested area. It was maybe like a little, I don't know, the road was, there were businesses, not, it wasn't like lit, but there were street lamps for sure, and there were a few trees, a couple of houses. It was like in the city. It wasn't out in the outskirts or anything. I was driving, and my friend decided, he's like, hey, we got the GPS on, you pretty much know where you're heading to next, right? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out. He was gonna sleep for a few minutes or so. So he fell asleep on the passenger side. He fell asleep. I was driving maybe 2-3 minutes into the drive, and above our delivery van, there was this huge, humongous light that just shone I couldn't obviously see what it was because it hovered above us. And it was so huge. We didn't hear anything. It was so huge that it literally woke my coworker up. And I just kept driving. I didn't stop, and we both looked at each other, and I asked him, "Did you see that?" He's like, "Yeah, bro. What was that?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "It is. Look what time it is. I mean, weird stuff does happen around this time." And it was just an experience that I cannot explain. I just cannot explain. So I've only had 2 experiences. I don't know about my mother. I haven't really talked to her about it, but she's a firm believer. My grandma thinks they're angels that live up there in outer space and that they watch over us. That's what she thinks. And I don't know what my mother thinks, but she's a firm believer. My grandma's a firm believer. I want to believe. I do really want to believe, and I just know we're not alone. There's no way in heck that we're alone in this world, that we're the only living, breathing creatures. Us and the animals we have, our pets, our dogs, our cats, our birds. But if y'all have an explanation, I'd love to hear it. I've also watched the movie, The Fourth Sense. Or not The Fourth Sense, I'm sorry. The Fourth Kind. It's a documentary type movie. This was back in 2009 that it came out. I watched it with a friend. If y'all haven't seen it, if y'all have heard of it, let me know also. But it's based on a true story of a psychologist who was supposedly abducted and followed by aliens, and this took place in Nome, Alaska. If y'all have heard of it, let me know what y'all think. I've heard a lot of people say it was a hoax, that it wasn't real, but again, it seems pretty legit. I'd like to believe it's true. I've heard a lot of stories about the Men in Black also. If y'all know anything about the Men in Black, I'd love to know that as well. I'd love to know. But yeah, the Men in Black, I've heard other podcasts, people talk about them, their encounters. So I wish I could know more about the Men in Black. Maybe I'll get to that in another episode. I'll look into it. But for sure, if y'all know anything about the Men in Black, I'd love to hear it. Judge Free podcast, Judge Free Zone here. Y'all are welcome to talk about anything, about your personal life experiences, anything. I want to hear it. Again, this was a freestyle podcast. I didn't take notes. I didn't read any notes, just personal experiences and my mother's experience. You for sure will get more into the extraterrestrial life. I'll do more research. The Roswell, Area 51. I've studied all that, so I have documents that I can read through. But I won't get to that in this podcast. This was just about personal experiences and my mother's experience and what I think about the extraterrestrial life. Just kind of like the base into what I will be talking about in the future. There's plenty of podcasts to come And again, so please subscribe, like, comment, email me, let me know anything. Send me a voice message of your story and I'll post it on here on the podcast. Anything, um, let me know. And I'll be glad to help you, to talk to you, give you my input, anything. And that's that. That's the end of this extraterrestrial um, horror tales. And y'all have a good one. Till next time.